The summer is almost here, which means it's time for a new art challenge. So for the next 12 weeks, I'm going to embark on a focused art challenge to improve my art skills, and in this video, I'll share with you the planning process behind the challenge so you can do the same. I did this for the first time last year and it was awesome. I finished the 12 weeks with over 15 new completed drawings, a new portfolio, and an improved illustration process. And because of that, I decided to try doing it again this year. The art summer follows the 12-week method. And the reason it works is because it's narrow focused and limited in time. It's the opposite of an annual resolution, which tends to be very broad and with no milestones or due dates. Setting up specific and measurable goals that are achievable sets you up for success because you can actually visualize the finish line to your target. The first step in planning your art summer is to establish a goal. A specific, measurable, relevant, and achievable goal. And as you're setting your own art goal for the next 12 weeks, one of the things you should do is to analyze your current skill level and be critical about what you need to improve on. You need to prioritize what to learn, and also keeping in mind your lifestyle, your life context, and how much time you can actually dedicate to this project. Again, what you want is to challenge yourself, achieve your goal, be consistent, and not give up. So set yourself up for success. In my case, for this new art summer, I want to continue on improving my art skills. As I think about it, I want to create cinematic illustrations, like full backgrounds with interesting lighting, while trying new rendering styles. In one word, what I want to do is to experiment and give myself the freedom to do so. I would love to make quirky pieces like Easy Burton, or memorable studies like Ben Ebelin, or impactful lighting scenarios like Sam Yang, or actual fine art to put on my wall like Bo Feng Li. And that has been my issue for a while. I don't try new things because I'm afraid of making something ugly, and then I'll have wasted my time. But unfortunately, learning takes time. To summarize my goal in one sentence, in the next 12 weeks, I will create at least one experimental illustration per week focused on narrative, lighting, and composition to improve my drawing skills and to continue to evolve as an artist. Now comes the fun part. Listing out the actual tactics or actions that will get you to achieve your goal. I'm not going to define exactly what I'll be drawing every week, but I am going to make a list of what I want to experiment with and all of the learning resources that I want to learn from. At this point, I'm breaking down my goal into manageable tasks. And if this was an ongoing project, I could also be breaking it down by milestones. So this is what I'm thinking. I want to create at least one illustration per week that is very experimental. I want to create some cinematic pieces, a few lighting studies. These would also be great for brush and rendering studies, some minimalistic graphic design type illustrations, and perhaps even create some life studies with watercolor. In terms of resources, some of the things that I want to work through are reading 2 books, Framed Ink 2 and Loisha's latest art book, watching some tutorials by Sam on his Patreon, taking the time to read through Ben Ebelin's sketch notes on Instagram, and finish off a few courses I've been meaning to take on Domestika. After listing out some tactics, it's time to roughly map out what we'll be doing and when. I'll be using my planner for it, but you can also use your personal calendar or just a piece of paper for this. You also don't need to fully plan out all your 12 weeks in advance. Last year, I basically recreated my whole plan on week 3 after reevaluating what I wanted from this project. So keep an open mind and map a rough outline of what you want to accomplish by the end of your 12 weeks. And while you're doing this planning, it's also helpful to keep in mind what your main priorities are in case of setbacks or things just taking longer than you planned for. Also, make sure to plan some buffer time as needed to keep yourself on track to complete your 12-week goal. Now, with your art summer kind of planned out, I want to share some tips for you to succeed throughout this challenge, as well as some of my favorite art resources. Schedule some time at the end of every week to review your progress. If you're on schedule and doing well, keep at it. But if you find yourself struggling, strategize ways to get back on track. For example, I really struggled to draw later on in the day. I am really a morning person, and so I actually started waking up at 6:30 almost every day to draw for at least a couple of hours before I even need to log in into work. It's helpful to keep some notes summarizing what you've done that week and tracking your lead indicators. Lead indicators are the behaviors that can lead you to achieve your goal. In this case, maybe how many hours you spent drawing, how many pieces you created, or how many books you read. After doing a review of your week, also take a few minutes to plan out the week ahead, just to ensure that you have enough time to do everything that you want to accomplish. In terms of art resources, here's what I recommend. For online art courses, there are 3 platforms that I really like: Domestika, Schoolism, and 21 Draw. I usually like to learn directly from the artists that I admire, so I use Patreon a lot. And finally, for books, I really like the publisher 3D Total. They have awesome magazines and books in all sorts of topics. And if you want specific recommendations for any topic, just leave your question in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. To summarize, start planning out your art summer by creating a SMART goal. Your goal is specific to your art skills, preferences, and lifestyle, and it should be challenging but achievable. Then list out the actions that you think would get to achieve your goals, as well as some learning resources. Then roughly map out a weekly schedule with some actions and learning time. Every week, schedule time to review your progress and plan out the week ahead. So this is how you plan your art summer. I'm so excited to get back on this journey and share it with you. And if you're feeling a little intimidated or scared, just remember that this is only for 12 weeks. And this time is gonna pass, regardless of you challenging yourself or not. So why not try? If you are taking on this challenge, please let me know. I would love to read your goals in the comments, and I'll keep you updated on my progress as well. Have fun, and I'll see you soon.